So the topic of my persuasive essay was pretty tough. I tried to think of something that would be an important issue that needed to be covered, something that people could relate to, and that they would know what I'm talking about. While our instructions said not to pick something that was too controversial, I have to admit that I ignored that suggestion. I chose to talk about a serious issue that is plaguing our society today: the disbelief of unicorns. In this speech, I will cover a brief history of unicorns, an example of unicorns, and the definition of reality. So let's start with the history of unicorns. Depictions of animals with one horn on their head have been found dated back to the earliest human history. We have accounts all over the world of unicorns with different names. There are also slightly different pictures are slightly different examples of what they look like. We have examples that in the Bible, we have examples ancient Asia, medieval Europe, really all over the world. All of these people are talking about this mythical beast that has one horn on their head. Some of these stories talk about special powers that they hold, and others are just about this one-horned animal. In Webster's dictionary in 1812, it stated that a unicorn was an animal that had one horn. Our definition of a unicorn, if you look at the Webster's dictionary today, it'll talk about a mythical animal that has special powers and things like of that sort. So let's talk about some of the examples that we've gone through. In China, we have a mythical creature with one horn called Qilin. An emperor named Huangti had he was walking around his palace one day, and he saw the Qilin wandering through, and he considered it lucky. The years following that sighting brought his people a lot of prosperity, and he considered it lucky. So he said that it is said that during that time, China had bricks. They created bricks so that they were able to build houses for the people. They created musical instruments during that period of time as well. And Huang Ti also united the tribes of China. It was said that the Qilin wasn't seen again until the emperor's death, when it came to bring him to the land of the dead. Another account of the unicorn is in the King James Version of the Bible. This is argued a lot by scholars because the translation of unicorn comes from the word reem, which is mostly accepted as some type of goat or cattle, which also has two horns and not one. But the last source that we can go to is probably one of the best sources about anything magical or mythical, and that would be Harry Potter. Harry Potter encounters a couple of dead unicorns, and there's a centaur that helps him kind of understand what a unicorn, how important a unicorn is. Firenze said, "Only one who has nothing to lose and everything to gain would commit such a crime," in this case talking about killing a unicorn. The blood of a unicorn will keep you alive, even if you are an inch from death, but at a terrible price. When you have slain something so pure and so defenseless, it's to save yourself. You'll have a half-life, a cursed life, from the moment the blood touches your lips. And so we can kind of see how many different accounts there are with these unicorns. The last account that I'll talk about is the medieval account, which at that time it was said that only virgin women were able to touch the beast, essentially, to be able to pet them and come near them because they are so pure. A lot of times, and again going back to the King James Version of the Bible, it talks about it kind of gives it as a symbolic reference to Christ, about how powerful these, in that case the reem, was a powerful beast and was pure. So finally, the last thing I'm going to talk about is reality. Now, the reality is really up to a philosophical debate. We have a definition of reality, and we can talk about how things are real, but there are a lot of things in this world that we go by faith. One is obviously God or Heavenly Father, or any form of deity. But we can also talk about protons, for example. We can't see these protons, but we believe they exist. Aliens, although probable, we don't have any proof of either. It would be pretty silly to be able to say that we are the only people in the entire universe who exist of a higher power of thinking. And so we have these examples that maybe we can't see with our own eyes, but we still believe exist. It is my suggestion that reality is what we believe to be true. From legends and the myths that we hear about unicorns, may or may not have the powers that are suggested that they have, but I think it would be a travesty to say that unicorns don't exist just because they are things of legends.